I'm with Mateusz Rumiński now. He's the VP of Product at PrimeAudience. Now, this is an ad tech that's using Gen AI technology in its business. Good morning. I understand you've come from Poland, so just a short hop across the Northern Europe for you. PrimeAudience launched last year out of RTB House, primarily focused on giving advertisers advanced behavioral targeting capabilities. I want to ask about behavior in a minute, but first of all, it's also linked to Chrome's privacy sandbox. Now, given what recently happened at Google with its cookie deprecation program, i.e. cancelled, how does that leave you guys?
Well, actually, it's not really cancelled. It's like the choice is in the hands of users, right? So we, as PrimeAudience, we are actually happy about that because it gives us even more potential, even more opportunity to solve the problem for our clients. Because now you have to integrate your approach to the cookie-based environment, to cookie-less environment. You have to integrate the new technologies, for example, the privacy sandbox, contextual. So for us as a technology provider, we are here to solve this issue for our clients.
So the privacy sandbox doesn't really work.
Well, it depends, obviously. It's hard to, decisively say one way or another now, because so far, some of the APIs have only been tested on 1% of the traffic, right? And there are so many new features being added to the privacy sandbox. For example, just as soon as yesterday, there was a new announcement from Google about a couple of other features being supported in the privacy sandbox. And so I can't say for sure, yeah, it is working, or no, it is not working. What we can say as a group, from the RTB House group perspective, is there are many use cases that are actually, that can be delivered using the privacy sandbox. For example, retargeting, which our company grew from. Now, with behavioral targeting as well, there are also many new technologies that can be used for this purpose. For example, topics API from the privacy sandbox on top of everything else that I just mentioned, like contextual, identifiers. So the future is bright, I would say, for personalized advertising, and I do like to see it this way. It's not anymore, cookie apocalypse or cookie deprecation. We shouldn't be using those negative phrases anymore. I think we should focus on what's optimistic, of what's possible in the future, especially around generative AI, which I am proudly representing as part of PrimeAudience.
Okay, and there's a lot of, you're an AI-led company. There's a lot of talk here about artificial intelligence, and it's a really big major theme. How are you developing it within PrimeAudience, and what can we expect to see next?
So generative AI has a lot of potential around basically everything, right? And so what you can actually do with it, it's limitless. But what's the most tricky part about that is how can you do it at scale? How can you do it cost-effectively? And so we as PrimeAudience are part of a bigger company which has been growing out of the deep learning.
And that's RTB House.
Yes, exactly. And so deep learning has been, natural part of our business for 9 years now. And generative AI technology, in fact, is just actually a part of deep learning sort of theory, I would say. And so to leverage our expertise, how to globally utilize this technology, efficiently, it led to launch of PrimeAudience, where we can now utilize these new possibilities with the cost efficiency of our own, know-how, our technology, our tech stack, our data servers. And so I believe that the future will be bright for those people who can use this great opportunity of generative AI, but at scale and cost efficiently.
Finally, behavioral targeting. I find this really fascinating. Are we really that predictable?
Oh, that's a great question. I would say it all depends on what you can actually see about the user. And we are all about the user choice. We're all about user privacy. So we want to, provide users with personalized advertising, but using only the data they are comfortable with sharing, right? And so, for example, you can have, two sides of the spectrum. On one hand, you can have all the data about the user and know very, very detailed, like what the user is interested in. And that can be creepy in some cases. But on the other hand, if you don't know anything about the user, you might be showing them ads of products that they are absolutely not interested in. And that's also discouraging for the user if they are seeing ads with products that have nothing in common with them. And so we strive to find the right balance between understanding the user behavior, but not being too creepy for that, but on the other hand, displaying them what they actually can be interested in, what they actually may want to buy or use, right? On the other hand, advertising is absolutely essential for the open web, right? Because advertising ultimately funds the publisher, websites, articles, journalism, and so we believe that we should, foster that relationship with publishers, with advertisers, so that the future of the open web is bright, and we are not, in the hands of walled gardens anymore, as we in some cases are today.
And very finally, you're here at DMEXCO, you made the trip. What are you getting from it? What sort of messages are you trying to get across as well?
Well, first of all, I'm very happy that people are talking, well, it's no longer cookieless environment, right? We are talking about that almost half of today's advertising is already cookieless, right? So we should be rather talking positively about what's up next, right? What's ahead of us. And I think from many of the keynotes that I attended today and yesterday, this is the theme happening, right? It's much more positive than it was, for example, last year when everyone was thinking, okay, how my business is going to survive. Obviously, the economy was in a different place last year than it's today. So a lot of things happened in the meantime so that we can now focus on what's ahead of us, what's positive, and that's how I feel about this year's DMEXCO. It's much more positive than it was last year.